I think as you get older, sometimes they don't happen as often, so you've got to be really aware of opportunities when they arise.
Countless Hollywood A-listers, including action heroes and heartthrobs, owe their careers to Luke Evans. Fast and Furious 6, Beauty and the Beast, and The Hobbit trilogy are just a few of Evans's critically acclaimed films that have captivated viewers. Although he portrays a strong person on TV, this actor really has a sensitive side. Despite being out as homosexual in Hollywood, he has never hid his identity. He is now prepared to put an end to the years of speculation about his romantic life that his admirers have endured. Who is this man that Evans claims to love more than anything in the world? That is the question everyone is asking. Come and see the touching reality as we expose a hidden aspect of his life. However, before we get into it, let's begin with his childhood and how he got to Hollywood. Welsh actor Luke Evans, who has starred in several blockbuster Hollywood blockbusters, really hails from a humble background. Evans was an only child growing up in Aberbargoed, Wales, after being born on Easter Sunday 1979 in Pontypridd. Yvonne and David Evans, Luke's parents, were devout Jehovah's Witnesses, and their son briefly followed in their footsteps. But Luke made up his mind to abandon religion and education when he was 16 years old, so that he may follow his passions. Moving to Cardiff at the age of 17, he discovered his calling in life as a singer and performer. He began singing classes with a coach called Lisa Ryan, who encouraged him to hone his craft. Opportunities began to present themselves as a result. A prestigious fellowship at the London Studio Centre was bestowed upon him in 1997. The London institution, situated at King's Cross, is renowned for producing accomplished performers. Shortly after graduating in 2000, Evans continued his studies there, laying the groundwork for his subsequent move from stage to film. When Luke first started out in show business, he was all about the stage. From 2000 until 2008, he established himself as a mainstay of London's West End musicals, showcasing his flexibility and fearlessness in leading roles in productions such as Avenue Q, Rent, La Cage aux Folles, and Miss Saigon. He was also a regular at the Edinburgh Festival and other smaller shows throughout this period. However, he truly broke through in 2008, playing the character of Vincent in Peter Gill's drama Small Change. Film and television producers took notice of Evans after seeing her perform in this role at the Donmar Warehouse. His outstanding performance earned him a nomination for the Evening Standard Award for Outstanding Newcomer. The attention he was getting led to offers from talent agencies in the United States. He then portrayed French singer Yves Montand in P.F., another production at the Donmar Warehouse. Things were progressing swiftly, and Evans had tried out for his debut feature part by 2009. He played the role of Apollo, the Greek deity, in the 2010 film adaptation of Clash of the Titans, marking his cinematic debut at the age of 30. He launched his cinematic career with this role, and further possibilities came quickly after. He played Clive in Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, a thug in Robin Hood, and Andy, the handyman, in Tamara Drew, all in the same year. These films demonstrated his versatility by showcasing his performance in both dramatic and action roles. In Blitz, he was one of the prominent actors with Jason Statham and Paddy Considine, playing the role of D. Craig Stokes. He was rapidly becoming a household name in the business world. Adding to his ever-expanding resume of thrilling roles, Evans played Aramis in 2011's The Three Musketeers. Additionally, he won a starring part as the deity Zeus in the film Immortals. The Raven, based on Edgar Allan Poe's writings, starred Evans and John Cusack at the year's close. Further demonstrating his versatility as an actor, Evans investigated a string of horrific crimes in his portrayal as Detective EMT Field. As his cinematic career took off, Evans tackled movies in a wide variety of genres. In 2011, he started filming No One Lives, a psychological horror flick, and he also started filming The Hobbit, Peter Jackson's epic fantasy blockbuster, in the role of Bard the Bowman. He became famous all over the world and became a part of one of Hollywood's most successful series thanks to this role. In 2013, Evans portrayed villains like Fast and Furious 6's Owen Shaw. He portrayed the titular role in the film Dracula Untold, which delves into the origins of the renowned vampire, a year subsequent. He was even attached to star in a remake of The Crow, but he had to drop out to focus on other projects. High Rise, in which he co-starred with Tom Hiddleston, and The Girl on the Train, in which he co-starred with Emily Blunt, were further steps in his professional ascent. One of his most iconic roles, though, was as Gaston in the 2017 live-action Beauty and the Beast film by Disney. Critics lauded his performance as the charmingly conceited antagonist, and the film went on to become an enormous hit. Following this, Evans persisted in broadening his professional horizons. In the TV series The Alienist, he played the role of John Moore, a newspaper artist. Evans proved he could do more than just act in 2019 with the release of his first album, At Last. In Roland Emmerich's military picture Midway, he co-starred with Patrick Wilson and Woody Harrelson, among others. Evans played the role of Lars Lee in the 2021 Hulu series 9 Perfect Strangers. In the live-action Pinocchio film that Disney produced, he played the part of the coachman. Not only has he won acting awards, but he has also been named Man of the Year at the Virgin Atlantic Attitude Awards, among other distinctions. Although actor Luke Evans has never been bashful about discussing his sexuality, he has been tight-lipped about his romantic relationships. One of the few out homosexual actors in Hollywood, he hasn't been bashful about discussing his sexual orientation since coming out in the early 2000s. Bringing up the subject, the Beauty and the Beast actor weighed in on the question of whether gay actors should be the only ones to portray LGBTQ+ roles in 2022. There's been a lot of buzz in Hollywood recently over whether gay actors should be the only ones to perform LGBTQ+ roles. Russell T. Davies, who created It's a Sin, has been one of the most outspoken advocates for real casting. Casting an actor who truly knows the realities of the LGBTQ+ community makes the performance more true, according to Davies, who is a firm believer that queer performers provide a certain authenticity to LGBTQ+ characters. He was known to say, "You wouldn't cast someone able-bodied and put them in a wheelchair. You wouldn't black someone up." According to Davies, performers who bring their own life experiences to the character are the key to successful storytelling. Luke Evans presents an alternative, more complex perspective on the matter, although Davies maintains this stance. Although there is a compelling case for increasing possibilities for LGBTQ+ performers, Evans admitted in an interview with The Telegraph that he was not quite sure that only gay actors should portray queer characters. Considering his own acting career, Evans realized that such a rigid policy would have drastically curtailed his options. "I wouldn't have had a career if gay people played gay roles and straight people played straight roles," said Evans. Instead than considering an actor's sexual orientation, he thinks casting should be based on their skill, timing, and potential. He acknowledges that Hollywood has to evolve and that more diverse casting is necessary, but he maintains that acting should be a matter of skill and aptitude alone. Despite his agreement that casting practices should develop, he is of the opinion that a person's identity should not be the sole determinant of their casting. Evans's position enriches the discussion by providing a nuanced view that places equal importance on opportunity and performance quality. Although he has portrayed several strong roles, Luke Evans is eager to clarify that he does not consider himself a henchman. With roles as Gaston in Beauty and the Beast and a Greek god in Clash of the Titans suggesting otherwise, Evans doesn't put much emphasis on being the most physically imposing actor. He joked, "Put them next to me and I look like a matchstick," comparing himself to actors like Dwayne Johnson and Chris Hemsworth. Evans isn't afraid to tackle more complex roles. For example, he played a homosexual couple going through a difficult divorce in the drama Our Sons. "It was the first time I'd read a story like this from two gay people's point of view," said Evans. He made the observation that the video shows both the happy and sad sides of homosexual marriage. "We're all the bloody same. We're all dealing with the same things," said he. Evans and Billy Porter play Nikki and Gabriel, a couple dealing with a custody fight following the breakdown of their relationship in the film Our Sons. Highlighting the highs and lows of marriage and children, the film delves deep into the complexity of LGBT relationships. Collaborating with Porter was an impactful experience for Evans. By saying, "We're both proud gay men in an industry where there isn't so much of this going on," he brought attention to the fact that gay performers seldom portray or narrate stories involving homosexual characters. Having nothing to conceal has never held Evans back in his work, and he has even spoken about how his sexuality has never been an issue. Fans are wondering, who has Evans dated? Since, despite his candor, he has kept his romantic relationships under wraps. Can you tell me about his love life? Now we may examine a few of his known relationships. The relationship between Evans and fellow actor Victor Turpin was the subject of one of the earliest major romance rumors. Even though they never came out and said they were dating, many fans took note of the amount of time the two spent together in 2018. Turpin went so far as to upload Instagram photos that appeared to suggest a relationship between the two of them. They dated for almost a year before breaking up at the beginning of 2019. Later that year, Turpin disappeared without a trace, and Evans never talked publicly about their connection. So many wondered what had happened to him. There were rumors of a romance between Australian actress Indiana Evans and Luke Evans in 2008, when Evans's career was just beginning to take off. It was supposedly while working together on the set of Immortals that the two crossed paths. Although their romance was brief, it was characterized as discreet and unassuming. It looked as though Luke and Indiana's personal lives took a back seat to their aspirations for acting careers. They opted to part ways after spending only a short amount of time together. Starring in hit Australian series like Home and Away and H2O, Just Add Water, Indiana Evans was already well known there. Roles in television programs and movies like Blue Lagoon, The Awakening helped her acquire a global fan base. Her acting chops and stunning good looks got her into Hollywood, but she has kept her romance with Luke Evans, which lasted for a short time, under wraps. After that, public relations expert Holly Goodchild was said to be Luke Evans's lover in 2010. Evans had come out as homosexual at this point, but his romance with Goodchild was unusual since she wasn't a public figure like his other lovers. Evans wasn't bashful about discussing their connection, even if it was a strange coupling. But their romance didn't last long, and they broke up before the year was up. Even still, following the separation, Evans and Goodchild kept in touch and were cordial. The relationship between Evans and Spanish model Jon Corta Urena became significantly more public in 2014. Urena was very much a star, what with his stunning good looks and his collaborations with Giorgio Armani and Versace, among other prominent fashion houses. They dated for a few years, during which time their long-distance relationship presented many difficulties. Evans acknowledged the breakup in an interview he gave to The Advocate in 2016, explaining that he was unmarried when the breakup occurred. Their romance apparently came to an end because the distance and their busy occupations were too much for them to handle. In addition to his work as a model, Jon Corta Urena has dabbled in acting in films such as A Single Man. Even while his ability and good looks have made him famous in the fashion industry, his connection with Luke Evans, which was hotly debated for a while, was a major part of his private life at the time. Luke Evans' relationship with art director Rafael Olarra became public knowledge after he continued to be out about his sexuality for a while. After making their relationship official on Instagram in January 2020, Evans wasted no time sharing adorable couple photos. They were clearly having fun together, and Evans even included a cute video of the two of them joking in one of his posts, writing, "I love my Welsh humor." No, honestly, he does. Their admirers adored the cuteness. Olarra is a renowned Spanish art director who is well respected for his innovative ideas and impeccable taste. The art world has taken notice of his work in areas such as branding, visual communication, and illustration. During the early months of the epidemic, he and Evans seemed to be in a good spot, traveling together and exchanging nice memories. Prior to Evans's trip to Australia to shoot 9 Perfect Strangers, the two spent an extensive period quarantining together in Florida. Things weren't what they seemed, though, as is typical in celebrity relationships. Evans had already deleted all images of Olarra from Instagram and unfollowed her by October 2020, as fans had noted. It became apparent at that moment that something was amiss. It took a few months for the rumors about their relationship's stability to be substantiated. Evans gave an interview to The Times in January 2021, when the rumors were finally put to rest. His breakup with Olarra was verified by him. After being asked about the breakup, Evans gave a quick response that was characteristic of his private character. "It is what it is." He didn't elaborate on the reasons behind the breakup. Evans has always been one to keep his private life out of the limelight, and this split was no exception, even though he is a public figure. Actually, he went on Instagram to explain that his statement did not give the media carte blanche to discuss his private life. He said, "Just to be very clear, no one, I repeat, no one, knows what is going on in my personal life apart from me." Evans demonstrated that relationships, and particularly breakups, are nuanced and oftentimes ambiguous. Even though he is in the public glare, he wants to have some privacy, and his statements reflect that. Given how content Evans and Olarra appeared to be a few months ago, the breakup came as a shock to fans. Not every relationship ends with a crystal-clear rationale or simple explanation. After all, love is a complex animal, as Evans put it. Following a string of high-profile breakups, Luke Evans appears to have finally met the one. The news of Evans's alleged romance with Spanish graphic artist Fran Thomas first surfaced in May 2022. The pair confirmed their relationship status on Instagram in July, indicating they were going steady. Unlike Evans, Fran Thomas is not involved in the entertainment sector. Rather, he is involved in a very different field: construction design and project management. Their professional backgrounds couldn't be more different, yet they appear to be a good match. There have been many sightings of Luke Evans and Fran Thomas enjoying life together. At the 2022 UNICEF Winter Gala in St. Bart's, they formally debuted as a couple at the Luisa Via Roma red carpet. Ever since, they've gone on every excursion together, never wanting to be parted. Their social media updates allow followers to follow the pair as they enjoy their vacations and time together, from boating adventures to swimming in Ibiza. Clearly, Evans and Thomas are enjoying and making the most of their relationship as of 2023. Thomas, a native Madrider, isn't bashful about showing his love for his celebrity partner at parties and interviews. In fact, he went so far as to provide images taken backstage during Evans' September 2022 appearance on James Corden's The Late Late Show. Thomas clearly plays a significant role in Evans's life as he offers him support in his personal and professional endeavors. They may keep their romance under wraps, but they've made it clear that they're very much in love with one another. If you're looking for an unusual celebrity partner, go no further than Fran Thomas. Thomas has a far more low-key job than Luke Evans, who is often in the limelight owing to his acting career. He is located in Madrid and works as a project manager for construction. Thomas started off as an interior designer, but he later moved into architecture and project management, as shown on his LinkedIn profile. Having worked in a variety of nations, including Australia, the United Arab Emirates, and Spain, he is an expert in both commercial and residential construction. Thomas, who supports Evans in his work, has a successful career in his own right and appears to like the balancing act that comes with his job. Pictures of him at press conferences and film premieres featuring Evans are common on his Instagram account. According to an insider, Thomas and Evans get along famously because they are complementary, have similar interests, and understand one another's humor. The obvious compatibility between the two is not surprising. Thomas may not work in show business, but he isn't shy about giving Evans a view inside his life. He posts selfies from their adventures and exercises on his Instagram, which is full of cute and personal photos of the two of them. Thomas, like Evans, is quite into fitness, and frequently shares gym photographs on social media. The couple's love for being physically active and healthy is perhaps what brings them closer together. Luke Evans has been forthright about wanting to have a family with Fran Thomas throughout their relationship. Evans said in a 2021 interview with the Sunday Times that he has often considered becoming a father and is giving the idea more serious consideration as he ages. There's a lot of satisfaction in passing on your experiences and raising a strong, open-minded, kind, respectful human being who can go out into the world and do something good, he added. He expresses his deep desire to create a family in his remarks. In a subsequent interview with The Times in 2022, Evans revealed his desire to start a family in the coming 5 years. Despite missing out on being a young dad, Evans is determined to be an involved parent. He emphasized the significance of being actively involved in his child's upbringing and able to keep up with them, saying that he doesn't want to be an elderly parent. Evans clearly has a strong desire to create a family, and his desire to become a father seems to be something he thinks about constantly. Evans is optimistic about the future, particularly with regard to the prospect of starting a family, despite the difficulties he has faced in his public life and in his relationships. Being an uplifting figure for young people, especially those who identify as LGBTQ+, has always been important to the actor. Speaking about the significance of representation in an interview with Attitude magazine in 2020, Evans stated, "Nothing should dictate what you do because of your sexuality." Evans aspires to alter that for future generations, having come out at the age of 16 without any homosexual role models to emulate. His future aspirations, commitment to his relationship, and job all reflect his desire to have a positive impact on the world. Regardless of whether Evans and Thomas choose to have a baby together or not, it is evident that Evans has given much consideration to the type of dad he aspires to be. He is really concerned about the influence he can have on the world, and it shows in his efforts to raise a kind and accepting child. Luke Evans and Fran Thomas's relationship is heavily influenced by their passion of traveling and seeing the globe together. Their love of adventure knows no bounds. It may be exploring the streets of Tokyo, lounging on Miami's beaches, or skiing in the Alps. The pair frequently shares images from their travels, highlighting picturesque scenery, mouth-watering local cuisine, and the happiness of being on the road with loved ones. Even on a safari in Namibia, they kept their fans updated on their adventures. Their shared experiences of the world from Thailand to France strengthen their bond. For them, traveling is about more than simply seeing the sights. It's about spending quality time together and making memories that will last a lifetime. Giving followers a peek into their lively and affectionate relationship, Fran frequently shares Instagram photos from their travels. The couple's love for one another is evident in their frequent trips and quality time together, regardless of their location. Even though Luke Evans is famous all over the world, he manages to maintain grounded via his relationship with Fran Thomas. Despite the difficulties of being in the limelight, Evans has always been forthright about the importance of Thomas in his life, calling him the best part of me. With Thomas at his side, he is able to maintain a sense of equilibrium. He's kind, calm, happy, and positive, Evans added, saying that Thomas helps him stay stable in a world that can sometimes be stressful. They have a strong bond rooted on love and friendship, and they share a lot of life experiences, both private and professional. Are you aware that BDXY is a clothing and underwear line that the two have launched? All it proves is that they worked well together and had similar interests. How fortunate he is to have discovered someone who encourages him and helps him grow as a person is something Evans has frequently said. In an interview, he expressed his gratitude for meeting that person and said, "We're building a life together. We're happy, and I'm very grateful that I've met that person." The couple's closeness is evident in the way they support one another through the highs and lows of life, whether it's publicly or privately. As for the time being, Evans and Thomas are still working on their life together, spending time together, and seeing the globe. Despite Evans's stated preference for privacy, his connection with Thomas suggests he may be willing to let the world in on some of his private life under certain conditions. As Evans famously put it, "He's a great human being. He's the best part of me for sure." Their affection for one another is clear. The exciting new series Emergency, starring Luke Evans, is based on true events that occurred during the Malayan Emergency, a guerrilla war in Malaya in the 1950s. Evans is set to appear in and serve as executive producer for this 6-part spy drama that is now in the development phase. Evans will play the part of Brigadier Mad Mike Calvert, a divisive British commander in charge of the Malayan Scouts, an elite unit of soldiers. It's hard to simplify Calvert's character. In the midst of the high-stakes demands of combat, he navigates as a secret homosexual. Protecting his forces and winning over rural populations, it is his duty as commander to spearhead the British military's reaction to communist terrorists plotting to topple the British. As the British are ready to use a clandestine herbicide codenamed Agent Orange, Calvert, who is now siding with the enemy, races through the jungle at breakneck speed. 3 distinct characters: a female Malayan Chinese guerrilla fighter, a young Malay policeman assigned to infiltrate the communist ranks, and Calvert, a British officer battling both personal and professional demons, will tell the story of this series, which will immerse Evans in a grim, tension-filled setting. The narrative gains dramatic complexity because to Evans's character, who brings controversy to the leadership role and has hidden issues. However, you might not be aware that Emergency is unlike any other combat drama. Historical events that form the basis for contemporary counterinsurgency methods are the inspiration for this. Mike Calvert's story is significant but little known because, as Luke Evans pointed out, his actions in Malaya established the groundwork for the politico-military strategy of winning the minds and hearts of the people during war. This strategy has since impacted military tactics on a global scale. Evans is thrilled to share this narrative with the public and considers it a privilege to play such a powerful character in film. Emergency is developing into one of Luke Evans's most significant jobs to date, both as an actor and a producer. His career has been filled with diverse and exciting parts. Watchers may anticipate to witness Evans in a nuanced and realistic character, testing the limits of his acting chops while contributing to the telling of a monumentally significant narrative that will touch audiences throughout the globe. Do you agree or disagree with Luke Evans' statements on his sexuality and its impact on his career? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and remember to subscribe, like, and click the bell icon to stay updated.